Keep the change, you filthy animal.
So what you got?
Beef.
Let's do it. Let's end it with beef.
Let's end it with beef as a, you know,
Wait,
it
hold
should
on.
be ended.
Cool. What's beef? Very famous song. Name that artist. Go.
What's beef?
Yes.
Are you talking about Where's the Beef?
Who wrote the
commercial?
song? No, oh, Jesus Christ. Some artist wrote a song called What's Beef?
What's
Some
beef?
artist.
Give me
Beef
that
is
artist.
when
I need to give you the title of the song?
No,
or the
I
song?
just gave you the title of the song. I need the artist who wrote
I need
the
to give
song.
you the artist. I'm sorry.
Who you got?
It's Sam.
Right? Wait, I think
like, you hurt my soul.
That was Jay-Z's son, right? That was the name of the. What was his name?
I can't even fucking pronounce this shit. I gotta look this shit up again. I don't remember.
African American artist, very, very, very famous. One of the most popular artists of all
Iconic.
time. We will give you 3 guesses to who wrote the song. What's
Iconic
beef?
East Coast 90s hip hop.
She gave you a lot. She gave you a lot more than
Dude,
I
that's
would have given.
Biggie, man.
All right, see, she made it
I was
easy.
just messing with you
Hey, let's
guys.
hear it for Cole.
You did it.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Anyway, we're going back to some New York beef.
Where's the beef?
What you got? Let's go back to the New York beef. That's
Let's
a great
go
way
back
to
to the
end
New
the show.
York beef. So
Num,
this
num, num,
beef is between the 2 independent artists, well, somewhat independent, Joey Badass and Troy Ave.
Turn up.
So Troy Ave, Mike, I would love to hear what you know about Troy Ave.
Dude, first of all, I love his song.
What's it called? What's beef?
No. Chill.
No, I'm trying to Google it.
No, I'm not Googling it. I wrote this down. This is my note. Hold on. Let me get
That's
it.
my note.
I like that song. It's a great song. Yeah, that's about it. Do you want my expert
You
opinion
never,
on it?
you
'Cause,
never
that's
said the
probably
name
end
of the
it.
song. You just showed us a picture of a girl with titties.
Look, I got a weird thing. Like, you know when people see numbers and like have a photographic memory? I see titties and I like remember shit.
Okay.
Well,
So.
at least he remembered Troy Ave.
There you go. What's beef, V?
All right, so the latest beef between these 2 artists, Troy Ave and Joey Badass. If y'all don't know about them, definitely check them out. There's some New York cats that are really throwing some heat. I started with them a couple months back in the summer of 2015, where Joey Badass started some tweets talking about himself as a #1 independent hip-hop artist. So, of course, Troy Ave, himself being a New York independent artist, took some offense to it, and he posted no single, no party hostings, no real endorsements. Reminder, nobody cares. You work for Sony Red, Cinematic Records, and then he put #fake independent. At the time, Joey Badass kind of dismissed the beef, and he said, I don't know what all of this beef talk is. This shit is dead, irrelevant to me. There is no real problems. Kill all that shit, please. Thanks. So shit was dropped for a while until, of course, the diss tracks came back. So the diss track, the first dropped, was from Troy. His latest single called Badass, where he attacked him. He attacked Joey Badass and his crew Pro Era, and even touched upon the death of fellow Pro Era partner Cap Steez. For those of you that don't know, he committed suicide right before Christmas in 2012. Part of the song that Troy dropped, talking about the suicide, says, "Don't get suicidal like your friend. Here's a casket. Steve's burning the hell, my burner's in my belt. I'm really killing shit. You hitters killing yourself. Fucking weirdos off the roof, steer clear, yo. This hitter trying to fly. He think he's Superman. Splat man. Fuck you and that man." So this is Troy's song about when Cap Steez, again, a member of Pro Era, killed himself. So then Joey went back to the numbers and basically attacked the fact that he does not make the sales that he does. And they've been going back and forth for some time now, like I said, a couple months ago. As of yesterday, the last thing I heard was that Troy and him were beefing about who's hitting the radio, who's not hitting the radio, because although Troy does hit the radio, he just doesn't make the numbers that Joey Badass does. And Joey Badass makes the numbers but doesn't hit the radio. However you want to spin it, though, I personally believe that Troy Ave crossed the line with those lyrics on his track because he's talking about the death of somebody on his crew, somebody that decided to take his life. And I just don't think that that's something to put in beef. Like, that's just not something that you put in a diss track, especially when it has nothing to do with the person you're trying to diss.
Yeah, I don't like when people do that. I mean, it has nothing to do with that person. To me, that's kind of the same situation when you see these thugs and these gangsters go after somebody's wife and kids, and leave everybody else out of it, man. If I got beef with you, I'm coming at you. You know what I mean? And that's it. But I don't know the situation. I got to read into it a little more, so I can't go here nor there. But sometime I guess, like Troy Ave might have that mentality like, yo, it is what it is. It's war now.
Do you guys think that that's appropriate, though? Like, I mean, let's go back to diss tracks back from the 90s. Like, definitely people hit hard. And, if you even look back at the Nas and Jay-Z, which is probably one of the most infamous beefs, they never kind of went too far. They always kept it very to the music. I think for Troy Ave, like, and I respect him.
Now,
It's hard.
Hov went a little far. Now, they both kind of went a little far.
I don't know. Nas kind of killed it with his
Now
diss
that I
track.
think about it, yeah, they both went a little.
Oh my God, Ether.
You know what?
Ether is straight up just.
It's disrespectful. It's, you know what? It's a thin line, man. It's a thin line. I did a lot of battle rapping over the years, and what I've learned is you're gonna come across people who really are just so disrespectful that they don't know a line. They really just have no regard to what they're gonna do. Whatever it is they feel like they need to do to get under your skin. Like we were talking about earlier, spitting on somebody's face. Spitting in somebody's face is never anything I would think to do.
It's
I would
not, it's
never
not.
think to do that. But you have to understand that you are going to come across people who think this is okay. And they are going to spit in your face. And if you don't believe that, then you are naive and you're probably going to get spat on. And it's the same thing with these beefs and with this rap stuff. I've been in battles with guys that have said things. You know, if people know personal things on you, they are going to use it. They are going to use whatever advantage they can to get under your skin. And
Sure.
there are no rules.
Do you think you're obviously both right? It's disrespectful, but do you think in any way, almost like the UFC thing we were talking about, and like in anything, if there's a rivalry, all of a sudden, any kind of beef, it stirs stuff up, and these are kind of two unknown guys.
Right.
I'm not saying this was their idea. You know, looking at it, you're like, oh, these guys have some beef. Now, anything they release, you're like, oh, are they going to come back with something? Are you
So
waiting
you're-
for a comeback? I
Are
don't
they
know. I'm
doing
just
it
saying.
for
like,
notoriety kind of thing?
yeah, and
I mean,
I'm not saying that's why they're doing it, but I'm just saying
I have-
all of a sudden there's a rivalry, there's some beef. You're like, well, what's next? Like, I'm
have-
curious to hear what's next.
I respect both of them as artists. Like, I love both of them. They're both really good rappers. They come with good beats. They have a good crew behind them. You know, Joey Badass got Pro Era. Troy Ave got BSB. And they all come with the rhymes. Very different styles, for sure. So it's kind of, I don't know, to me it's kind of upsetting to see that Troy kind of stepped that line because you're talking about somebody that killed themselves now.
But at the same time, you got to think to yourself, Troy Ave, from what I know of him, he's kind of a new age 50, right?
I mean, that's how he's
somewhat.
being targeted, but because
Because
he
you
kind
gotta
of sounds
think,
like him and his
everybody
beats are similar.
So everybody felt, you got to think about it. Think about 50 in his time. Everybody felt like, yo, 50's crossing the line. 50's crazy. He came out with How to Rob. He's dissing everybody. He's
That's
wild.
how you get noticed,
But
right?
look at how big 50 became from this.
That's true. But
know
I don't
what I
know. I
mean?
just think that when you're talking about the death of somebody and like somebody that's a fellow rapper, like it's not like Cap Steez was like somebody that nobody knew. He was somebody that was really big in the underground circuit.
Well, let me make
he
this
was
clear.
somebody that was going to pop off before, in my opinion. He was going to pop off harder than Joey.
Let me direct your argument this way, V, or your debate. I don't think anyone would ever debate what you're saying as far as, is it disrespectful? Of course it is.
Yeah.
Is it going too far? Probably. But what the debate is it worth it?
Does it help them in the
Does
long
it
run?
help them in the long run? Is it, even though it may be crossing the line, is it worth it to cross that line in order to get to where you've dreamed of being your entire life? These guys have their egos on the line. They have their careers on the line. They have everything they fought for, their whole life on the line. And you got somebody that's kind of trying to come at you and take that away from you. You might say some shit or do some shit that in that moment you like, nah, fuck that. I'm not letting this person come at me like this, and I'm going to go at whatever. And then you might probably look back a couple weeks or a couple months later and be like, shouldn't have went that far.
And I co-sign that, except like you recorded the song. And again, I'm all for beef. I think it's part of what makes hip hop. You know, like you have to battle somebody. You have to test somebody. You have to be like, yo, prove to me that you're better than me. Because that's what hip hop is all about.
Not anymore.
But,
Not
yeah,
anymore.
you're right.
I wish
You're
it
right.
was.
You're
I
right.
wish it was
Definitely
still
not
that.
the way it used to be.
Not anymore.
There's no more like Jay-Z, Nas type shit. It
No,
just isn't.
no, it's not.
The best thing we had was Meek
But
and
even
Drake.
Hov said he skeeted in his Jeep and left condoms on his baby seat. I mean,
Oh,
that's pretty disrespectful.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he said
really
that.
gross.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty. So I mean, it gets ugly. It gets super ugly. In
I
fact,
think there's a line. And I think mocking fun at somebody's death, be it the person that was in your crew, your mother, your fucking whoever it was, it's just there's a line you don't cross. And like I said, I like Troy Ave. I like both of them. And yeah, Joey Badass definitely tested him as well as many other independent artists. And that's the thing, like Joey never like tagged him personally and said, yo, this is about you. He just said, I am one of the best-selling independent artists. And it's facts. Like, it is factual. Him and Mac Miller have made a platform that nobody else could really do. Troy Ave is building that platform as well. And he's feeding off of that platform himself. I think they're both amazing artists in different ways. I just think that, in my mind personally, I think Troy stepped a little too far by touching on the suicide of somebody on his team. Like, that's that's too far.
Yeah, that's rough. And I don't disagree.